Welcome back to the problem discovery phase. Today we are going to finish up the last two steps of this. The third to last step is defining the problem. As you looked through the interviews and saw different people's problems, you decided to pick a problem and work on it. In this case, let's just say that I decide to work on isolation. In the validation of the problem, the point of this is to actually check to see if that many people have that problem. So far I've interviewed a few people. Lincoln here says he cannot say he has that problem. So then I just end the interview. I did that for Scott. I did that for Tara. Now let's check with Josh. So all I'm doing is going back and asking one very specific question. And when they say no or yes, then you can move on. Or in this case, I'm just going to end because Josh is no help to me. I'm going to try Anthony. Anthony doesn't really have a thing. I'll try Barb over here. So Barb says that there is more to it. So then I could at least validate that Barb has that problem. Charlene is who had the problem originally. I could check with the rest of these people and to see if it was a great enough problem. If I found that not many people or just a couple had that, I would go ahead and try a new problem. However, I think there is enough there to move on. So I'm going to say ready to move on. The next part, it's going to ask you to develop a prototype customer. And the reason that we want to develop a prototype is this allows us to see what best segment of the market will want our product. So for example, there's two parts to this. I'm going to select who I think has that problem. So when I looked at that, it seemed like it was people that are a little bit older, medium income, live in the suburbs, and it seemed to be more female driven. So I'm going to go ahead and hit survey. And what this is doing is it's calculating our total addressable market. And I'll explain that here shortly. So as I look at this, it says that validation score 100 out of 100, which means that yes, indeed, this is an addressable market. And the thing that you really want to look at is that there's 12.7 million people that can be reached in this particular market. Now, obviously, I could go and I encourage you to do this, is to just kind of play around. So let's see if same thing, little different age group, if there's a bigger market. Pretty close to size. The age group, the millennial age group seems to be a little bit bigger. Now, one thing I just want to point out is location, income, they matter as well. So something that you want to think about is just because the group has a bigger number doesn't always mean that they're a better market. It always helps to have more people in there. But at the same time, if they're lower income, they might not be able to afford our product or service that we eventually make. If they're in an area where maybe we just can't get to them or we don't have enough stores, say they're in a rural area, that could be a problem. The other thing to think about is whatever our solution is, better align with who the market is. So that's important. So for example, if I went to the silent generation and I was developing, say, a technology piece that's going to be on a phone, and somebody or a lot of my markets in their 80s or above, they're probably not going to use it because they just don't know that world that well. So again, try to find the biggest market, but also keep in mind some of these other considerations as you move to who you want to select. I'll just survey these guys one more time, make sure they're the big market. And it looks like we're good here. So At this point, we're done with we're wrapping up the discovery part, so we can go ahead and hit finish. And then it will move us on to the solution design and validation. At this point, I don't want you to go any further. You'll be done for the day. Just make sure that you answer the questions that are on our site. So at this point, click here and complete this assignment right here. Again, simply after completing the simulator, copy these questions, paste them into your text entry box, and you'll be done. Other than that, that's it for today. Thanks, guys.